Okay, we are now live on, let's see, Vimeo, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and the whole nine yards. Let me get to my script real quick. Sorry, everybody. If this is working for you, please let us know in the chat rooms. So thank you very much for tuning in. You are currently watching the Early Bird Morning Reinventing Drawing Group with Kier. It's now 9 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast of America. We always have people that are beaming in really early from California. If you are a artist or an artist, excuse my English, and you want to beam in, then you can check out the homepage of reinventingthetattoo.com, click on watch events, and there's a little Google Calendar. I'm going to show you in a second all about it. But just know that if you are an artist, you are welcome to Zoom in every Monday morning at 9 o'clock. So welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are all encouraged to join in these live events and the discussion panels, the streams, the real world events. Ultimately, Guy is inviting everybody to join, to share with each other, to inspire each other so that we can create better art and tattoos together. We're beaming out nearly every day, like 5 or 6 days a week. And with everybody's help, the streamers, the viewers, the whole crew, everybody, this actually is becoming almost like a TV network of awesome tattoo shows with, and again, it's pretty real here. No one's an actor and we're all actually kind of shy, but we're doing this because we love tattoos and it's a lot of fun. So as I was saying earlier, you might be on the YouTube channel or on the Facebook, so definitely give all those a subscribe. You might be listening to a replay on the podcasts. But you could always get the latest event schedule and the notifications from the official Reinventing the Tattoo community. That would be at www.reinventingthetattoo.com. And until websites go away, that will always be the central hub to find everything. You could also find the Reinventing the Tattoo app in the app stores. We will be switching over app formats pretty soon. So if you currently have the app, and then you might have to do a download or a switcheroo. And we have one more round of password changes coming. But then, yeah, we're pretty psyched with our new mobile app and learning platform for reinventing. Okay, as I was saying, if this is working for you, definitely let us know in the comments where you're beaming in from. Please tag some of your friends that might be interested in tattoos, or even apprentice or apprentice types that want to draw, and or share it around, because that's the way that all of these things work. Now, we've been talking a lot, like there's a ton of Reinventing Network shows. We have art jams, we have drawing groups, we have interviews, we have discussion panels, webinars. Seriously, all of these different types of events can be enjoyed on demand on our YouTube and on podcast channels. There's countless rabbit holes to go down. These videos are perfect for your front room of the studio, the drawing room. A lot of the tattooers are talking about putting it on in the back room of the drawing room, and or to entertain clients. Let me screen share here, and I'm going to show you how to beam in and what we've got going on here at Reinventing. Okay, as I was saying, so this is reinventingthetattoo.com, and if you are up at 2 o'clock in the morning and aren't sure what to watch, or if you want to recommend this to your friends, hey, look at that. This is the Reinventing Drawing Group right here. If I click this, we'll start some Inception-y kind of streaming stuff, but let's not do that. I'm going to keep scrolling down. We have a section here, Reinventing 24/7, replaying your favorite Reinventing network all day. We have, you could see, oh, it's a little, well, basically we have replays going 24/7, and here is the event schedule. You could get to the shortcut here, watch, click upcoming events, and you're right here. And you'll see we've got all of the upcoming scheduled streams here. We do some Fridays and Saturdays impromptu. Right here is the Reinventing Drawing Group. And you'll see artists, you can zoom in. You could also copy this event to your calendar so you can get reminders. And if you want, you can get the whole Google Calendar to be reminded of all of our different shows. Kier, you're smiling. Am I doing a horrible or a funny job? Okay.
No, you're fine.
I guess I need to take a breath and a sip. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Okay. Our weekly staples. One of the things that makes the Reinventing community awesome and different is the fact that, basically Guy has set up a structure where there are routine drawing groups. It's out of control. Okay, so every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, all these times are Eastern, we have a Reinventing Drawing Group with Jason Leeser. It's pretty awesome. And Sunday, 1 o'clock is an easy time for everybody. California gets it, Europe gets it, it's awesome. Mondays at 9 o'clock in the morning is the Early Bird Drawing Group with Kier. This is actually what you're watching. Mondays at 11 a.m. is the Tattoo Weekly with Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network, Lauren Gregory from Raw and Reinventing, and then me, I'm Gabe from Tattoo Now. And this is actually in 2 hours. We'll be highlighting some of the previous week's fun streams. We'll be talking about upcoming events. We hit some news topics and bring in interviews. I think not this week, next week we have Hunter Spanks, traditional guy, coming in. Anyways, let's see. Mondays at 9 o'clock at night are the subscribers exercises with Guy Aitchison. And if you are a tattooer or an apprentice, then you should be subscribing to the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon. You can be doing curated exercises with Guy and the whole Reinventing crew Monday nights at 9 o'clock. I mean, you can imagine how your art will improve if you're getting critiqued by Guy once a week and the rest of them. Watching people do this for over a year is, well, like I said, watching their artwork progress is tremendous. Let's see, but this is not the pitch for that. That's later. This is the schedule. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. with Ricardo Sturvenat. Feelings. It's another Reinventing drawing group. Feel free to beam in and put it on your schedule. Wednesdays at 12 noon is the Tattoo Now show, where not only do I do the intro, but then I stay on to do some interviews. We've got Thursdays at 10 a.m. is a subscribers exercise, fundamentals with Kier, and all skill levels are encouraged, especially apprentice types, to beam in. It's pretty awesome. Kier's a staple here at Reinventing and is killing it. I can't wait to pass the mic over to her, but for now, you still have me for another 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Thursdays at 12 noon is the Tattoo Collecting Podcast with Fawn Baker and Jordan Rickus. They talk tattoos with collectors, bodysuits, sleeves. They smoke a lot of weed on it. It's a lot of fun. Talk a lot of philosophical type of things. Okay, upcoming special events. The February 5th and 6th, it's coming right up, is the Reinventing the Tattoo Live at Red Tree. Let me fire up the website here real quick. Hey, Ricardo's beaming in too. Awesome. Be careful driving there. Okay, so Reinventing Live, February 5th and 6th at Red Tree Tattoo / True Tubes. This is Derb's basically new Compound No event space warehouse. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got like 4 or 5 booths, like a little mini convention, you know. We've been going smaller with our events. This one's actually big. It might have even up to 100 people, but you can beam in, right? So if you're anywhere in the world and you want to join in, you certainly can. We love it. The stage pass is $25. There's something going pretty much at any given time. We have 19 days. Okay, special guest Guy Aitchison is beaming in each evening to do a discussion panel and dive in deep with the day's mentors. Bob Tyrell's going to be tattooing a skull from start to last call. I came up with that title, so don't blame him on it. Nick Baxter is going to be beaming in from Austin, Texas, to teach an advanced layering webinar, which will be awesome if you take that class. I think it's like $125. You could send him your tattoos in progress, and as he's talking about layering techniques, you might even be able to use your tattoo as an example of how to further the tattoo. Okay, I got to go quick here. This is out of control. But anyways, Jesse Smith, Jillian Marie, Renee Little, Conan Lee. Conan Lee is doing the organized tattoo artist seminar. That means that if you're a tattooer and you're trying to figure out how to balance your life and stay organized and have actual relationships with people and own shops and be an entrepreneur and schedule your tattoos, all of that, Conan has automated. It's pretty amazing. Actually, when I owned my tattoo shop, he used to tell me how it was automated, and I was like, well, that's awesome, but I have like this really crack support team that does use computer tools, but you know, he's all about like the solo artists facilitating their process. Anyways, the organized tattoo seminar, I'm really excited about that. Tony Urbanik will be talking coil tattoo machines all week. Nick Mitchell's doing his seminar. Fawn Baker, Haley Adams, Derb. Anyways, go to reinventingthetattoo.com/live. The full schedule is here, along with links to purchase the in-person or webinar tickets. Okay, well, that is the main upcoming event. April 11th to the 14th is Inspiring.Tours in New Hampshire. It's already sold out. If you want to get on the wait list, we do 5 to 7 people with the likes of, well, in this case, Sean Barber and Nick Baxter, painting and tattooing. Inspiring.Tours. Hellcity.com is May 20th to the 22nd. The Rubber City Tattoo Art Invitational in Akron, Ohio, hosted by Tony Urbanik, July 29th to the 31st. And then October 20th to the 23rd is the Paradise Tattoo Gathering, presuming that we're all still here. I mean, it could go either way, right? We'll either all still be here and ready to go crazy at the parties, or we will be hunkering down and doing another BYOB where we share each other's brains. Okay, last but not least, the sponsors that make this happen. Yes, reinventingthetattoo.com. Get all of your online courses there. We can't teach you how to tattoo, but you can learn how to tattoo a little better with these classes. Andre Malcolm has a koi sleeve design seminar. BJ Betts has a 3-hour epic lettering. Bob Tyrell has an 11-hour portrait seminar. It's awesome. rawpigments.co. Check them out. They've got sample packs. Go to reinventing247.com. Scroll down. I think there's this is like the last week to hop on. Actually, I think at the February 5th and 6th will be the last chance to get your Reinventing sample packs. Anyways, you can get sample links there. Reinventing 24/7 from Raw Pigments. D-Lies Pro is a healing wrap. If you're still using saran wrap that specifically doesn't breathe, then I might suggest you check out the D-Lies Pro, known as Dermalize Worldwide, thanks to copyright stuff in the States. There's lots of videos. Check it out. Tattoonow.com. I am a computer geek. I do websites, CRM stuff. I mean, not just websites. Like I'm basically like a part-time CTO for Chief Technology Officer for tattoo shops. I love it. Am accepting clients, tattoonow.com, and then GuyAitchison.com. GuyAitchison.com. He's the founder and inspiration of Reinventing the Tattoo. His website has prints, paintings, his BYOB encyclopedia book. Damn it, I got to get that around here. It is 8 years of Guy collecting the most inspirational biomechanical and abstract art that exists. I think Giger's in it, Berkansky. It's awesome. Biomech Encyclopedia. Do search for it. Guy Aitchison. Okay. Whew. Positive reviews. Please leave them on all the channels, the YouTubes, the podcasts, the Facebooks, wherever you're beaming in. Please leave the positive reviews there. It helps us get the word out and makes it continue to happen. If you're interested in hosting a Reinventing event or sponsoring the community, or even just sending us your critiques, straight to management@reinventingthetattoo.com. And I am now going to hop in the background and actually test. Sometimes I probably should have tested before I got 15 minutes into the intro. But anyways, how you doing, Kier? How you doing, Ricardo?
Hi, Gabe. That was excellent.
Woo. I need to figure out how to shorten it without talking faster.
I know. I think that was one of the first things that Sandy had said to me. She was like, "You do nice intros. You just gotta breathe every once in a while." And I forget to do that all the time. I'm like, "Yeah, so there's this and this and that, and I'll fill in the dead air. It's fine."
Yeah. Well, one thing that we could potentially do is like do some of that in the middle, right? So if we had a timer that was like halfway through, we might be like, "Hey, you know what? Now's the time to talk about something."
Yeah.
So instead of doing like the 15 minutes in the beginning. Well, anyways, I'm going to hop off. If there are again, if anybody's interested in joining this Zoom, like I said, homepage of reinventingthetattoo.com, click events and then watch. And I think that's what it is. And then you'll get to the Google Calendar, and from there you could find the Zoom link. So I'm going to hop in the background. Cheers.
Okay, thanks, Gabe.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Gabe.
I know you understand, Ricardo, because you do your class. Just those intros really are just so killer at times.
And honestly, you guys nail it. I've done it twice, I think, and I bombed both times. You know what I mean? So, but it's just so weird because like you're sitting there and people are on here with you, and people are probably watching either in the present time or future, and you're just sitting there talking to yourself pretty much. It's so odd. So odd. And like you go through these different scenarios in your head while you're doing it. You're like, oh my God, I'm doing this right now. I'm talking to myself, but there's going to be people watching either now or in the future. And what was I saying again?
Yeah. It means that you should probably always have your mic, but it is true, especially, there's some, for lack of a better word, tattoo royalty that checks out some of these shows, especially like the Drunk Critiques and some of the special events. So, and, even if there's only 200 people watching, sometimes there's 10 of those 200 are the fucking right 10, That's how it happens.
Yeah,
hey, I think we might be getting on Roku. So speaking of tightening the shit up and stuff,
Whoa.
I'm looking at opening up the Roku channel.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
Also, Jerry P is beaming in, painting along as usual from Newfoundland. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Newfoundland.
Dang. Thanks for joining, man.
Yeah. So today we are on the Monday morning drawing group, as Gabe said. and we try and pick topics every time. And since we're starting to approach our tax season, which is going to be busy season for us, some of us are just getting over the slow season. So I wanted to discuss today how we keep ourselves busy during that slow season, and what we focus on, whether it's to better ourselves or a medium or anything like that. And yes, you can also do that when you are booked out until 2023. So even though if this wasn't your slow season, you can still participate in said discussion, because I'm sure that you had a slow season at one point. So with that being said, I'm going to open the floor now to the discussion of what do you do during your slow time, Cardo?
Oh man, yeah, that's a hard one. You know what I mean? I mean, I think the first thing that I do now, more than anything else, is I just make sure to paint. I make sure to paint and draw, and I take that opportunity to draw up tattoo designs or ideas that I have that I would like to do, and take the time to really like start them and then finish them like full color render, full black and gray rendering if that's what you wanted to do. And I mean, I think that's important to kind of remember to stay busy and stay practiced.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I tried
Slow time. How long have you all been tattooing for? Come on, you guys got to be like streaming out those designs, emailing your fucking lists and shit. There's no slow time after 3 years tattooing. At least not at a well, I don't know. I apologize. I don't mean to be so brash, but come on now. I remember like 3 years into to the tattoo shop I owned, it was like, winter will slow down because of cancellations, but only because of the cancellations. Everyone, the other times it should always be pretty steady after a couple of years tattooing, right? Do you guys email your mailing list once a month, like your satisfied clients?
I just started talking to my clients again. After like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'll send a message out or I'll call them. Or
No. I mean, like once a month, do you like pay attention to the people who've paid you money and love you and want to hear from you? Your fans. Once a month.
Don't call me out like this right now.
Well, you were the one that was talking about slow time. I heard like slow time. I'm like, you're all tattooers part of Reinventing. You can't be fucking slow. You're in my area. I'll blast fucking 2 tattoos a day your way if you're slow. Come on.
No, I have not been slow. No, trust me. I don't think any tattooer has been really slow.
No,
there's always that as the great Jason Leeser says, always remember December, meaning that December is usually the slowest month of the year.
100%.
Spending, on other things that they need to spend for, or preparing for taxes, or whatever the case may be. So for the month of December and maybe January for some, it's a lot slower, so then you can be more attentive to other things, because we all know that tattooing, even if you're tattooing for 4 hours or 12 hours a day, that shit's exhausting.
100%. I definitely appreciate making sure that people use their downtime appropriately. But I think you said slow season. I think that was what triggered me. I'm like, slow season? What the fuck? Like I said, we've known each other for long enough that I don't ever want to hear those words uttered out of your mouth because you're experiencing it. And if you are, let me know.
I think now more than ever, like I stay pretty busy throughout the year, but I think now more than ever, if anything, if there has been cancellations or reschedules due to COVID and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I would say that it's definitely like a COVID thing more than anything else.
I definitely had more like time to focus on painting, because let's say like middle of the summer, I maybe don't paint till like once or twice a month, but in the winter months I tend to paint like a couple times a week, because it's just like not slow, just more steady, I guess. It's the phrasing I'll use. Because
steady and ebb and flow.
Yeah, like I said, that tattooing is absolutely exhausting. So once you go in for the time that you go in for, and then you leave later at night, you're just like beat. You don't want to do anything, and you still have to draw for the next day possibly. So focusing on clientele or painting or any other medium, practically drawing for yourself is tougher. Which I see a lot of older tattooers who've been doing it for a while, and they're booked out till 2023. They always tell me that they don't have time to draw for themselves. And
that's silly.
It is silly.
Booking yourself out till 2023. Again, I'm not. Who am I to criticize someone who's actually making a fantastic living and probably taking the family on vacation and shit. But from looking at a variety of tattooers, after like 3 months, I'm not sure where the upside is to booking out more than 3 months. Anytime a tattooer tries to explain it, they're like, well, I don't want to say no. I'm like, well, that's not a good reason. They're like, but I like my clients. I'm like, everyone likes their client. But you end up cutting off your own opportunities by booking out that far.
Yeah. And then on the flip side of that perspective, if you can book somebody out 2023, do it. Like, good for you. Holy crap. That means that you're going to be busy as ever, and God bless you for being that busy and working that hard. So there's always flip sides to things, but definitely cancellations have been, up in the highs the past couple weeks with this new variant going around, and it's been opening up the books a little bit and giving me some downtime to paint more. So I just was curious, like, what artists do, when they have more downtime and mental capacity for other activities. Be it
Definitely
painting,
learn terminology.
Yeah. Be it painting or I don't know, doing more business stuff or doing more seminars, going to different, like the Red Tree event, going to that. There's so many different things that you could do to keep yourself busy, because, Gabe's right. You always keep yourself busy in some way, shape, or form, no matter what. There's always something to do.
Right, there's also, there's different types of shops too, right?
Yeah.
I was just saying, there's different types of shops. Like some people are, down with, like, if you've got a cancellation, go fishing. That's cool. There's other shops who are like, hey, you're professional artists. If you're not tattooing, you should be creating art because, you're artists.
Absolutely. I think that if you're in the right environment, that you'll have some client or some fellow artists there that like to flat your work. That's always a good thing, or make that happen on your own. Join Reinventing the Tattoo, get on here, say what's up, start meeting some people, start plan on traveling and stuff like that. That's always helpful. It's always good to plan for the future. Like what you were saying here about, like, getting ready to go to some of those just like smaller conventions, like the Red Tree ones coming up. But that's been very fruitful for me this past year for sure.
Yeah, that's kept me very busy this past year. You're absolutely right. The amount that I've traveled, and I know you've traveled just as much, Ricardo, the amount of traveling made us very busy and tired. It was absolutely insane.
Like 3 times last year. Damn, here I am again.
And then you just find yourself after, like, the first couple of times at the airport, I felt we're just like all up and high. I was like, all right, I gotta get on this plane. I'm so excited, I gotta get there. And by like the 4th and 5th time at the airport, I'm just like sitting in the chair like a half hour before my plane takes off, and I'm just like,
Yeah, you learn exactly how much time you need to be able to walk through the gate, right?
Oh yeah, the first time I went to the airport, I was like 3 hours early. I was like, I'm not missing my flight. And I think the last time I was on the plane, which is when we went to Miami, I think I showed up like a half hour late.
Yeah, pretty much.
Almost missed my flight.
You're like, come on, you guys know me by now. Look at me. You know where I'm going.
It was so bad to the point where the flight attendant, like right at the beginning, when you walk right in and you find your airline, the flight attendant was like, I don't even know if you're going to make it. I'm like, what's the worst case scenario? I'm going to be stuck in Miami? Ooh.
I know. Tell me about it, right?
Like, okay.
Going to Miami. Oh, man.
A couple people are popping up in the chat room here. Neil Foster says, hey, Ricardo. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Gabe. Hey, Neil.
What's up?
What's up, Neil?
Let's see, Caroline Evans is saying good morning from her yoga mat. That sounds stretchy. Great.
Good morning, Caroline. Miss you bunches. So glad we got to meet at the Paradise BYOB. That was super cool. She was the only one that would ask questions.
Yeah, it was fun. What's up, Caroline?
It was super fun, super fun. Like I would, every time I was up front on the stage and I was like talking or doing my seminar or whatever, I would scan my eyes across the room to the room full of people. And she always stood out to me because she was like, you could see her facial expressions changing, and she was very engaged in the conversation. It was quite amazing. Shout out to Carolyn.
Yeah, it was fun to see her apprentices or the younger tattooers there too. It was just a pleasure in general to see the. Well, again, just to once again, it'd been a while since I'd been to any sort of show, and the attitude, not the attitudes, but the vibe where, well, again, like Caroline, and there was a couple other of, Amy, they brought their whole crews, and we had a couple older people, but it was like kind of like a middle-aged generation talking to the younger generation. And except, I guess we beamed in with a lot of people who like real gravitas. Anyway, it was a lot of fun watching her and like some of the other crews just to all interact and share. It's just amazing to be able to watch everybody kind of facilitate their knowledge sharing.
And that's, I'm glad that we were able to do it in a time where social interaction wasn't really like ideal. We did it when the numbers were at their lowest, which was great, but it was just really nice to actually socialize with a huge group of people again, and socialize with like, I don't know, of the same community that you're in, and they all came from the same place, which was Reinventing the Tattoo. And it was super awakening and brought a little tear to my eye, because I was like, oh my God, I've seen you guys online for like 6 months. And this is the first time I'm meeting you in person, and it's like nothing even changed. It's like whatever.
I've said it a couple times, the dance or the interaction between the virtual world and the real world. I mean, this is kind of my space, right? So for 25 years, I've been helping people connect online, and then first meeting them at the tattoo shops as clients, but then bringing them together for the events and whatnot. And it really is like it's like a flywheel when people meet each other online and they actually meet in person. And then to your point, it's like all of a sudden the reality of the virtual becomes more real, and it's like a compounding effect, and so then all of a sudden, 3 years later, after everybody's been getting together and having virtual conversations, real world conversations, virtual conversations, real world conversations, it's definitely fun to watch just watch it all grow. And like I said, it's fun to see the different art ideas go from person to person to person. The regular philosophy. So let's see, Atomic Injections says good morning, and Caroline Evans put out lots of hearty type emojis.
Gotta love all the hearts, man. Gotta love all those hearts.
Absolutely. I think out of everybody at Paradise BYOB, besides Gabe and the background crew killing it, Amy Nichols really did it right. Shout out to Amy Nichols with her whole ass apartment that she rented.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Very much shout out to Amy Nichols. If you want to learn how to prepare, go to Amy Nichols, because I'm from this state and I was not even as prepared as she was. She brought like her whole kitchen, like, oh my God, she rented instead of hotel rooms, she rented like a whole ass apartment, whole ass kitchen, living room, bedrooms, like the whole thing. And it was like a door over from the main buildings that we did all the seminars at. So every time I brought Ricardo or Jason or Bruno over for breakfast, they were just like, whoa, we did this so wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. The rooms were pretty nice, but it was definitely awesome to be able to like hang out in the apartment and stuff like that with them.
Yeah,
Rico was great. Rico was great too.
Yeah,
it was a good time all around.
Everybody that went was absolutely amazing, and we all mingled really well. It was like being at camp. Like I felt like I was at art camp.
Jeez, guys, hanging out.
Yeah.
It was a blast, man.
I'll say the very first tattoo gathering that we did in 2008, I think it was, and I think it was the end of the first day on the Thursday. So it was the end of the first day that I'd ever run a tattoo convention. And it was probably 2:00 in the morning, and I was walking back to the hotel, and there's two things that really struck out to me. One was it seemed like everybody in that whole hotel was smoking weed. I'm sure some of them weren't, but like I'm just like, oh my God, we're gonna get kicked out of this place. This is crazy. But everyone was talking, instead of like fighting or drinking too loud or whatever, they were all talking, you could hear them as I was walking down the hall, just talking art. Like, so each door I walked by, they're inside, there's like 4 or 5 people inside, still 2 o'clock in the morning, like vigorously talking about different types of art or painting and it was really like an after school specialty kind of a moment. I'm like, oh my God, it's so fucking cheesy, but it's so amazing. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. And those condos are really nice. So Jimmy Peak is, the 2 or 3 bedrooms, you split them with a couple people and it really helps foster again, different types of communities. Like there's a shop community and then there's just groups of friends that show up well, again, it's amazing that everyone shows up to make the magic happen. So thank you for doing it. And again, obviously you guys are also pitching in and helping, with the stage events and seminars and stuff. So that's,
yeah, it was, and that's very awesome that you bring that up, Gabe, because to me, that's all I wanted out of my community, was just to be able to jump from, person to person in a mingling setting and just talk art and nothing else. And I got that opportunity at the Paradise BYOB, and I got that through my whole traveling this past year. And like you said, Gabe, it's really amazing to just like walk down a hallway or walk down a convention line or be at the Paradise BYOB and just jump from conversation to conversation, and it's just different topics of art and different subjects and techniques, and let me show you this, oh, come over here, I'll show you this. Like, everybody is so willing to share information that they know, and that to me is like one of the most amazing things about this industry, is just how willing everybody is to be like, oh, you want to learn how to do this thing? Don't worry about it, buddy. Come over to my station right over here. Let's go paint together. Oh, you want to paint right next to Christian Perez? That's fine. You can watch me do that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you triggered me again. You triggered me again. It's not like the whole industry is like that, right? Like we go out of our way to like carve out a nice spot where we have a space where people are like that. But and there are obviously those same people are at other conventions and at other events, and there's other different flavors. But there's also a lot of people in the industry that are not as open, as not as cool, as not as way more protective, and or mostly I just want to point out that I wish it was the whole tattoo industry. Maybe someday it will be the whole tattoo industry that's open and sharing and down with the cause.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It took me up to this point, 3 years, almost 4 years being in the industry to understand that, it's only a certain set of people with certain mindsets, because there definitely are those artists that are like, oh man, that's my information that I learned. You go find it yourself. And like, to me, that's not what being an artist is. Like, you being an artist, you're able to pretty much take the world that lives around you and recreate it on a 2-dimensional surface, whatever it is, or, a person, be it this industry. And why not talk about it? Why don't you want to teach other people and show other people what you've learned? Is an exciting factor, not like Smeagol, like, this is my information, not yours. I don't know, Ricardo, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think that it's important for us as artists to, especially people that have been doing it for a while, it is important to at least understand that we're all here at some point in time, whether it's entry level or like, experience, not novice versus professional, quote unquote professional. You know what I mean? It's like, it's important for us all to kind of like keep that in regards to ourselves, for our own personal growth and everybody's growth around you. If you have other people around you that are willing to share information and willing to help push the industry that much more, or the environment, or the group of people that we're involved with, which I agree with Gabe, because it's like, I've also experienced where it's not as friendly as it can be. I think the Reinventing group is entirely different. And I think that's because we're all here to learn, we're all here to share, we're all here to push our industry a little bit further. And it is important for us to be able to teach if we know how to, learn how to teach if we can, and experience it from a different perspective, and learn more yourself in the process. And it just helps everybody. You know what I mean? So it is important to be able to do that.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, and I definitely do think it has a huge part to do with the Reinventing the tattoo community, because like I've said this before on way before on a Monday group about the fact that I have a couple of tattoo groups that I join on Facebook. I'm not gonna mention which ones, but I'll just see the posts sometimes, and they're very we'll say egotistical towards themselves and very rude to other people and other artists, and just like they're just nasty comments all the time. Like there's never anything nice, and it's not just one person, it's like tons of people, just and then if you were to take that same post and post it in the Reinventing group, they'd be like, you'd have like just super sweethearts that are maybe still having the same thoughts, but they're not saying it, and they're able to discern it in a certain way, and be polite and criticize in a healthy manner. And I'm totally saying that the Reinventing the Tattoo community is just like one of the nicest group of people that I've ever met in this industry. And it really shows me what I thought artistry was compared to what I've been shown in the past as what tattooing is or art is. So that's good that you brought that up, Ricardo.
That also does. I just want to, for at least from my perspective, that comes like pretty much straight from Guy. I mean, he's so patient, and I probably have told the story before, but there was a tattoo convention that I was working in the New York City Empire State one a couple years ago, and there's a fellow that started coming by, like a salesy guy, real salesy guy, and started talking with a guy about these inks that'll disappear in a year. And actually, it's kind of all over the news now because they have these shops where you can have a tattoo and it disappears in a year. But I was, after like 30 seconds, a minute, I'm like, okay, I was done with this guy. I'm like, okay, move along. The guy's not going to fucking tattoo people with disappearing ink. But like, I'm not, I'm a friend of guys, but I'm not his manager now. He does this thing. And so he was talking to the guy. And after like 5 minutes or something, I was just like normally I would have, if it was somebody else, I might have, because all these guys are very busy, right? So every once in a while, I like tap somebody else, hey, you got a phone call or something, but whatever, we're just letting him. After like 10, 15 minutes, the guy finally finished just bitch. I was like, I can't believe guy listens to this guy for this long. And so the guy's like, so what do you think about my inks? Do you want to use my inks? And again, I could you could imagine all the snappy things that I was thinking of in my head. And guy just takes a breath and he's like, well, I don't think anybody would want to pay my day rate for a tattoo that'll disappear. I'm like, whoa, what a nice, fucking kind, patient response. He's not making an enemy of the guy. And who else was it? Joey Cap was also, at least back in the day, I don't know if he was actually the guy that said it, but he was like, so there's a philosophy of like, you should be nice. If you're a tattooer, you really should be nice to everybody. You never know who's going to be a client. And yeah, it was amazing. Like I said, so that patience, again, that doesn't, I'm learning it. I try my best every day to be more like Guy and patient. Stop being an asshole. Be nice.
Yeah, I think it definitely is a patience thing. Like I don't know. I think tattooing teaches you patience more than anything, because you're literally just, you have to be so patient sometimes.
In all aspects of it.
In all aspects of it. Getting the clientele that you want, you have to be, in the beginning of your career, you have to be patient. You're gonna be doing a lot of small Pinterest stuff for a while, and you have to be patient with knowing that one day you will be doing stuff that you want to do. And then you have to be patient with drawing the tattoos. You have to be patient with tattooing the tattoos. You have to be patient with everything. Maybe your client's just being a little, frizzy, and you have to be patient with that. So, being patient with people outside of, tattooing itself should kind of come fundamental. I don't know. Are you on the same page, Cardo?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think it's important to just learn how to do that for yourself first. You know what I mean? Like you just be a pleasant person to be around. Like, how many times have we been around people that are just straight dicks? And you're like, dude, I don't want to be this guy. Like, think about you outside of yourself when people are viewing you and your observation and your environment and the way you're acting, like that. It's like, it's pretty easy to realize that sometimes we all have our days, right? Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, nobody's perfect. You have your moments and stuff like that. And we try to explain ourselves, and sometimes our emotions can be a little more elevated, or our reactions, our inherent kind of reactions, like default mode sometimes, and like, it's okay, but you have to try to understand that you're just going to try better a little bit more better next time.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be around the dick.
No, it's definitely understanding too that, and I have to remind myself of this, that somebody who's not in the industry even a little bit finds tattooing like amazing, like superhero status amazing, just tattooing in general.
Yeah.
So obviously any person that talks to you is going to be super excited at what you do, because you get paid to draw. So that's like immediately like, oh my gosh, they're doing like something so cool every day, and I'm gonna tell you my 6 ideas that I'm never gonna get while we're at the bar, and I don't even know who you are, and I'm gonna ask you all these questions, and it's not to be, bombarding. It's just because they're curious. And unfortunately, especially when you decide to draw out in public, you're asking for to make new friends.
Yeah.
You're asking for people to come up to you and be like, so did you draw that?
Yeah, don't be all annoyed when they come up to you. It's like, you know you already did. You know you're doing.
Yeah,
You wanted people to come up to you and talk to you about it anyway. But no, you're
So,
right though.
Yes. Yeah. It from my personal perspective, everybody's perspective is different on life, and that's something that sometimes you can't change. But from my perspective, that's how I would see it, and I'm a very shy person at first. Like new people that I don't know that come up to me, I'm very, very shy, and I give very short answers at times, but I'm never rude because I know that they're just curious. They just want to know what it's like to be, an artist that is paid, and an artist that gets to tattoo. And oh my gosh, look at your guns that you use. Those are cool. Are those the power ones or the electric ones? Like, so it's kind of like putting your head around that perspective, right? You have to understand that everybody's going to find your job absolutely amazing. You can't go anywhere and say what you do for a living without being like, I'm talking for the next half hour to 45 minutes on ideas that they're not going to get. But,
sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do. You're absolutely right.
I remember a couple vendors where, 2 hours or 3 hours after I, stopped drinking, I was in the front room and there's people that I met at the bar the previous night coming in to book half sleeves. And I'm like, I know my headache in fucking a half an hour is not going to, want to be encouraged by just having booked a fucking $1,500 tattoo from the night before. It's like the exact wrong encouragement. But it's a double-edged sword. You go out and you talk to people and you pick up clients, but then you have to figure out how to carve out your own space where you're not talking about something that you love 24 hours a day. If you're going to the bar to escape it, that's different. But to your point, tattooers that are awesome at what they do and are personable. I pretty much try to turn every social interaction, and or at least I always keep it open. Like I never would get annoyed at anybody that was asking about, oh, I heard of Miami Ink. I want to get I saw Miami Ink. I want to get a sleeve. Could I do that in 2 days? And all the artists are like, I can't. There was a ton of artists that were bitching about that, right? People come in asking for sleeves in a day, and I'm like, man, I'll talk to them. I'll explain to them. I'll explain to them how long it takes. Because 20% of them are still going to stick around, and the other people that want a sleeve, that think it takes 2 days, they still want the sleeve. They just don't understand the process. So I don't know. Anyways, I don't mind talking to people. If you don't talk to them, someone else will.
Yeah.
Not just that. You're right, but not just that. But at one point in time, we were all very much in the same position where we were still learning about what the process was too. You know what I mean? Like you can't sit there and think that everybody that you talk to is going to know everything that they should. There's going to be some people that call the machines guns, and there's going to be some people that talk about Miami Ink. There's going to be some people that like, well, I saw this tattoo on Pinterest, or like, you have to understand that like these people, they're trying to translate something that they've never even thought about trying to translate.
Yeah.
Like they've never learned the language, and they're trying to have a conversation with you about it. And like, it's up to us to be able to like sit down with them and communicate that with them. Not for them, but with them, and like walk them through it, and then be polite about it whenever you're like, well, we could call them guns, but we prefer to call them machines or something like that. And like, who fucking cares really? Like, why does it even fucking matter? You know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter, dude. Like, you're still getting the job done. They're still getting the tattoo. They're still there talking to you, spending their time out of their day to come talk to you about making a permanent mark on their body and giving you money for it. Like, for Christ's sake, what else are you going to really like? Why are you going to give this person more grief than what they even deserve? You know what I mean? Like, come on, think about it. Think about the actual logistics of what's happening here. Like, you're sitting in a shop that is awesome, that somebody has spent thousands and thousands of dollars to decorate, or a lifetime of collecting paintings and drawings and stuff like that to decorate their place, to make it cool, for you to hang out, for you to be able to like talk about whatever you want to talk about, wear most of the clothes that you want to wear, and be able to look however you want to. And somebody's coming in to give you money to draw on. Like, if you have problems with your job, or if you have problems with the clientele, then stop fucking doing it, because you have struck lottery. You know what I mean? You won the lottery. Like, there's so many people that hate their jobs, and they hate their position in life because they're stuck in this job that pays them benefits and pays them 401ks and stuff like that. But they hate it. Every day they go to work, they're like, I can't stand it, dude. And I can't quit. Like that, what we do is so golden. It's so golden, man. Like, this life we live, we get to hang out, dude. Like, come on, just treat people nice. It's not that big of a deal, dude. Appreciate what you have.
That comes all the way back around to the topic of willing to share the information that you've sweated over, cried over, blood, sweat, and tears over. And that's part of it, and that's educating the public to be proper in this industry. And yes. Like you said, they're just curious. It's nothing malice at all. They're not coming up to you to be annoying. It's not the case. It's nothing that severe. It's the problem of that they just want to get a tattoo. They think what you do is absolutely amazing and rare. And it's up to you now to be that first person that introduces them into this amazing industry that it is looked at often, but is rare to get into and actually make a living on full time. It takes some people a decade before they can quit their day jobs and do it full time. So you kind of lose that gratefulness after you kind of, start doing it full time, because now you're doing it. Now you see it every single day. It's part of your life, but you're now missing that gratefulness of, I'm so lucky to be able to do this every day and not have to go to a cubicle office for 9 to 5 and, count down the hours until I can be myself again, outside my job. We're ourselves all the time. So, and that's something rare that a lot, especially today's day and age, that a lot of people don't get to have anymore. And it's up to us to really educate them and just have a conversation, be friends, entertain them for that time being.
Get to know them. Have the opportunity to be a human being with another human being. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
Exactly. And not for nothing, but Ricardo was actually one of the first persons to start introducing me into that concept with his introductions to every single person that walks by, and making conversation with everybody he opens the door with, and being so calm in high stress situations. It's definitely something to look up to.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, of course. It was, I mean, for somebody, and I know, Jason, if you're listening, you definitely felt the same way, but as somebody growing up in New England, like, we've told you many times that people are just very like head down, walk forward, don't say nothing. You do say, I do say please and thank you, and do that like half smile at people, even though I'm wearing a mask now, so it's kind of weird. But you really go above and beyond with being polite to people, and it's definitely an eye-opening thing. It's like, why is that being looked at as weird? Why don't I say hello to every single person? Why don't I say good morning? And I wish everybody a good morning. So why don't I start to spread that? Because you never know that one good morning could change somebody's entire day. Just because, like, oh, somebody said good morning to me. That's really sweet.
Life isn't that bad anymore, And it's not just that, but it also does wonders for us as an individual, as our own person. Like, it's good you carry around that energy with you. You know what I mean? If you're always pissy, you're grumpy and stuff like that, of course, the rest of your day and the rest of your perspective, the rest of your life is going to be shitty. It's going to be shitty. Shit happens. It just happens. Things are what they are, right? The whole Murphy's Law thing. Anything that can be shitty will be shitty. But it's because of the way that we view it. It's the way that we interact with ourselves. It's the way that we present to the world around us. You make it a bad day if you're just shitty to people all the time. It's like, why not just be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Hello, hi, smile, open the door for somebody, talk to somebody. You know what I mean? It's no big deal. Not that big of a deal, man. Come on. it's astounding to me, like how simple it really can be. But yeah, you're right, Q. We got to make our day better, and then once we make our day better, it makes everybody else's day around you that much better too.
Exactly. But with that kind of being said here, I kind of want to check out what you're working on, and we are kind of gonna close this hour out on the hour for real this time. Um, I'm surprised my internet lasted this long. We got some snow last night, and it's doing, its thing.
I'm
Wow,
working on an
bud,
old
what's this
drawing.
for?
Just for me, I wanted something dark. I've been working on it for a little while now, but I thought I'd get back in it today before my next appointment comes in at 11. I'm just throwing some things together.
What's the concept here? Tell us the story behind this composition.
This one was actually made on the airplane ride back from Philadelphia whenever we worked the last convention. There was a lot of different experiences at that trip and stuff like that, and it was awesome. It was such a crazy time. Jason Snakes, I love watching Jason, his processes of his snake bodies and stuff like that. So I originally started to draw a head on it, but I decided not a snake head, but I messed it all up. So I just drew this woman's face instead. And for me, this one is more just about like composition, and just to kind of like study how simple angles, intersecting angles and stuff like that are. And that's just the subject matter. I think it's fun. The whole snake body with the woman head and weird little hand over here. So, and of course a skull. I love doing skulls. So, yeah, I don't know really know what else to say about it.
No,
Thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome. You always come up with such amazing stories for compositions and everything like that. And your use of black in this is really astounding. This could make a really nice tattoo.
Yeah, thanks. It'd be fun to do it. So that's one of the things that I'm working on this year is getting some images done that I'd like to be able to tattoo. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna refine this one a little bit more. Right now, it's still very much like still a sketch or like an underpainting. You can see all the little marks and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go through and render those out a little bit more as far as the light sources and stuff like that go, and kind of go from there. Maybe make it a painting. If not a tattoo, just turn it into a big giant painting. So why not? Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you can draw for yourself and that you're still doing that. I know it's really difficult out there, and I really want this to be a statement to those out there who will say, can't remember the last time they drew for themselves and only drew for their clients, which I understand is difficult when you're booked out for months and stuff like that. You're doing these sleeves every day. It's difficult to just sit down and draw for yourself. But I hope that, at least this week and this upcoming week, you can give yourself at least an hour to draw for yourself. Just doodle, even if it's like a doodle on a napkin, just for something that you want to do, not that you're getting paid to do, because that's a huge, and that's what I learned this past busy season, this past summer, that it really does tear you down a little bit. It really does attack at you when you're just drawing for clients, and you're like, I have these cool ideas in my head and I can't get them out. It's very, very frustrating. So I hope everybody can find some time to draw just for themselves and nobody else, and remember why they're being an artist, and that's to make art that they want to make. And with that being said, here we got about 5 minutes. I figured we can do our closing statements here. Carter, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, my name is Ricardo Sturdivant. I teach I'm host of the Tuesday morning classes at 10 a.m. on Reinventing the Tattoo. You can reach me on Instagram at Candor Tattoo. That's CANDOR Tattoo on Instagram. Feel free to direct message me, whatever. If you have any questions or anything like that, things you want to talk about, topics you want to cover, or artistic approaches or whatever, just let us know. Even if you want to call, even if you want to like send a message and complain about something I said, let me know. Let's talk. And it's always a pleasure. Gabe, thank you so much for the introduction today. Kier, I appreciate you hosting these morning classes. It's always fun to just hang out and rant a little bit before the client comes in, you know what I mean? So get it out of the way so they don't have to hear it, But yeah, that's about it.
All right, yeah. Awesome. thank you so much for joining on. I was shocked that you were going to join on today, and I'm really, really glad that you did. Great discussion, great topics were said. Um, yes, I'm spotlighted. Hello.
Hello.
This is the Reinventing a Tattoo Monday Morning Drawing Group. We had a great discussion today. I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope that everybody takes something home with them about this conversation that was said, whether it be, just going out and start saying good morning to people, or start drawing for yourself more, or, time management, or whatever it may be. But for those who don't know, my name is Kirsten Franklin, and you can follow me on Instagram at Frankie Says Things, and I'm a tattooer out of Western Massachusetts. So if you're in that area and want to get tattoos, you can hit them DMs. my my outros are always very ums, and I don't know what to say. But if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you want to tell me how bad of a job I'm doing, feel free. Let me know. I would love to hear it.
And we love you. We love you all. We'll see you next Monday. No, Thursday. We'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, we will see you Thursday. Please join in Thursdays if you want to learn some real stuff. I go over slides and everything like that on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So feel free to check it out. Come hang out. We do very similar things. Other than that, it's that time, Gabe. We can do our little.
Have fun.